On BBC1 shortly, Kid Jensen introduces this week's edition of Top of the Pops. And with the time now at 7:21, here's the mid-evening news on BBC2 with Angela Rippon.
Mr Callaghan speaks about the Labour Party conference decisions which have gone against him on reselection of MPs and control of the election manifesto. The Labour leader said it would be wrong for the National Executive Committee to have sole control over the party manifesto, but he didn't think reselection would affect many Labour MPs. Mr Callaghan admitted he'd been hurt by the attacks on his government from many of the delegates, and he agreed that this week's decisions amounted to a vote of censure on what had happened at the last election.
But those who lose elections must also expect to be heavily criticised and censured. And I don't take exception to being criticised or censured. If I took exception to that, then I shouldn't be here. I think what is happening, is that the Conservative government is following such right-wing policies, more right-wing than we've had in this country, certainly since the 1930s, that there's bound to be an inevitable throwback to the extreme left. I don't believe in this polarisation of extreme right and extreme left. I think the present government and the Prime Minister, Mrs Thatcher, is doing a grave disservice to the country by the way she is taking it so far to the right, because she is creating the polarisation, and I see it happening, that we're not going to solve this country's problems that way.
A settlement has been reached in the 10-week-old engineering dispute. Industrial action will be called off almost immediately. The agreement is based on a 4-year deal, with the skilled minimum wage rate going up from £60 to £73 a week, with pay for unskilled workers going up to more than £52. And there's to be an extra 5 days annual holiday, also staged over a 4-year period. On top of this, the basic working week is to be reduced by 1 hour to 39 hours by November 1981. Our industrial correspondent says this concession on hours is the first for any major industry and will inevitably have repercussions elsewhere. Already, the Engineering Workers' Union President, Mr Terry Duffy, has described the settlement as a victory for the unions and says the shorter working week is a significant breakthrough. Earlier, there had been trouble at the Rosedale plastic mouldings factory at Bedwas in Mid Glamorgan, which has been closed permanently because of the dispute. Scuffles started when about 150 pickets blockaded the plant and tried to stop lorries removing products made before the strike started. David Williams reports.
A fleet of 17 lorries brought in to remove the last of the factory's products were quickly and effectively stopped from leaving by pickets made redundant in the plant closure. Firemen had to be called when plastic mouldings which the firm produced were set alight. The pickets eventually forced the lorries to leave without their cargo.
In the West Country, a man is helping police with their inquiries following the murder of a 31-year-old village policeman, Desmond Kellam, the father of 2 children. Police say he died after a single blow from an axe as he tried to arrest a would-be thief at Trowbridge in Wiltshire. The police believe that the murderer had battered the back door of a shop in the town with the same axe minutes before the murder. Andrew Harvey reports.
The murder has shocked the town of Trowbridge. All day offers of help and support have been pouring into the police. Just before 11 o'clock last night, Police Constable Kellam disturbed an intruder in W.H. Smith's in the main shopping area. He chased the man into a nearby churchyard. There was a struggle and he was hit a savage blow on the side of the head. He managed to stagger 50 yards down the church path before collapsing. He was found by a member of the public but died on the way to hospital. Police Constable Kellam's colleagues, many of whom volunteered for duty as soon as they heard of the attack last night, have been searching every inch of ground in and around the churchyard. They're looking for a heavy axe-like instrument. They also want to talk to anyone at a discotheque last night in the Capricorn Club a few yards away.
Queen's Park Rangers manager Tommy Docherty has been taken by detectives to Derbyshire, where he's said to be assisting a police investigation. Police are conducting inquiries under the Prevention of Corruption Act at Derby County Football Club, where Mr. Docherty was manager from September 1977 until this May. The inquiries are believed to involve sponsorship, season tickets and transfer deals with America. Mr. Docherty, who's 51, still has a permanent home in Derbyshire, despite his recent appointment with the London club. The Pope, continuing his tour of America, has been speaking about the Church's position